It's been 1 week since I set foot in Azoria in search of the epic story that I've heard so much about. If you aren't aware, I just started playing Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn, to see if it earns the title as the best story in the series. But no, Genji, you must play Heavensward. What about Shadowbringer? Not as good as Endwalker. Don't forget about Stormblood. Let's get into it. So in this video, we're going to talk about my thoughts after 1 week of playing Final Fantasy XIV. So the first thing I want to address, the community. That's right. Those of you watching right now, come here a minute. We gotta talk. Why do you want me to play this game so bad? I mean, you're all really nice and it's been great so far, but what's going on exactly? Jokes aside, it's obvious that there's a lot of really passionate fans of this game, and that's really exciting and encouraging to see. It says a lot for a game to have such a strong fan base 10 years in that is overwhelmingly positive, helpful, and supportive. So thank you all so much that commented on my last video, that gave me a bunch of suggestions, support, corrected me when I was wrong, and made me feel really welcome in this community. And a special shout out to all of you that have been joining me on Twitch. It has been a blast hanging out and playing this game so far this week. Really, it's kind of reminded me of when I was younger and I'd have sleepovers with my friends and we'd play Final Fantasy all night, eat pizza, drink Dr. Pepper, and just have a good time. That being said, if you'd like to join me over there on Twitch, my link is in the description. I've been streaming from between 7 and 9 p.m. on weekdays, that's Pacific Standard Time. And while you're at it, if you want to give the video a like to let me know that you're enjoying this type of content, I'd really appreciate it. Alright, so back to the game. So at the time of shooting this video, I'm at level 28 around main story quest, level 20, 21. I've made a lot of friends, fought some new enemies, took a ride with some strangers, and learned how to dress myself. As far as combat goes, I'm filling out my hotbar nicely and getting in the swing of things. And while the story is a little slow right now, the game is using this time to just teach me how to play it. I found the introduction to classes really helpful as a new MMO player. Even if they were really basic, just going through that flow and doing what I'm supposed to do as it's telling me, hey, you're doing it right, that's a good way to start a game out for new players. And it made me confident that I knew what was expected of me when joining a party. I think that this game does a beautiful job at slowly easing you into things at the beginning, even if it does come at the cost of a little bit slower of a story. I mean, that's fine. It's not a movie where the story beats and the pacing need to happen one after another. It's a video game. Gameplay should be king. Even if there are other things that you adore about the game, if the gameplay's not fun, then it's simply not going to be a fun game to play. Though I do have to say, so far the combat, it's really not that hard. I haven't died one time, which is way less impressive than if this were a Souls game or something. But my main point is that the main story quests level you up so much so that you really breeze through the combat, and there's nothing really that difficult about the game so far. Personally, I would say that is a bigger turnoff than a story being a little bit slow. It's that the combat in the game is so easy that it's just not engaging you enough. But then, of course, that's a two-edged sword where if the game is too hard and is too grindy at the beginning, you're also going to have a lot of players fall off. So I think they are making the right choice to allow people to breeze through the game so they can get to the better parts, the more exciting and fun parts that happen once you hit level 50, once you finish A Realm Reborn. And of course, the game developers have a bit of an incentive to get you there because that's where you're going to be spending a little bit more money. And don't get me wrong, I don't fault them at all for that. Final Fantasy XIV's pricing is totally fair, especially when compared to other games these days. And I would say it seems like the game is really trying to earn your money by providing a fun experience, not by putting pay-to-win mechanics and microtransactions throughout. And one thing that they have done to combat this over-leveling problem is they'll sink your level back down to something more reasonable if you're too over-leveled in the main story. This has been fine, but I still tend to find that even with that level sinking, you're still going to be just a little bit over-leveled for where you're at. So overall, the combat's been totally fine, but I am looking forward to it being a little bit more challenging. Alright, now let's talk about the story. So what I read from the comments in my last video is that A Realm Reborn has the best story out of any of the other expansions, and it's the best part of the game, and I should really just stop after A Realm Reborn because the other expansions just aren't worth it. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself there. So yes, I have heard you. A Realm Reborn is just world building, setting up the story for future expansions. I got you. From what I'm hearing, the expansions do a lot better with voice acting, just higher quality, more exciting stuff going on. I'm really looking forward to getting there, and if I've invested so much time to play through A Realm Reborn, I mean, of course I'm gonna at least go and see what the next part is. And so far, what I've learned in A Realm Reborn seems really great, and I'm excited for where that's going. That being said, I'm going to give a tiny bit of a spoiler warning here. If for some reason you haven't played the game and you're watching this video, skip to this part right here in the video. Okay, so I fought Ifrit, which was super cool. I loved how he looked. He wasn't his usual red self. He was all black and charged looking with like yellow underneath him. And then after that fight, you learn about what primals do to people, where they make them tampered or tainted in some kind of way, where they're basically zombified, where they just won't stop until they resummon that primal again. That sounds like super creepy and really interesting. I mean, I can already see how maybe there'll be some characters in the future games that maybe are trying to resummon some of the primals that maybe you don't know about, and it just sets the stage for betrayal and some really interesting stuff. So I think that's a really cool like plot device, and really excited to see where that goes. Another really cool part that stood out is when you overheard a party giving their mage a bunch of crap for not healing their tank, which died, and then the party like rage quitting because the mage couldn't heal him fast enough. It was like, that was hilarious, because it just made me think about like in real life people getting mad about, you know, not getting healed fast enough, and they kind of showed it in the world. So yeah, I thought that was really funny. Also, I'd love to hear if you guys have any favorite moments from the beginning of the game. Please leave them in the comments. I'd love to see. But again, like we're all so aware, I'm just at the very beginnings of the game, so I'm not judging anything too harshly, and I know the best is still yet to come. Another thing that I've noticed is that there's so much to learn in this game. It seems like every time I play, I'm learning something new, whether it's how to run, how to use my map better, how to auto-equip your best gear, and that's great. There's so much complexity and so many things that I've seen that they have maybe put in afterwards that have just optimized the game for ease of use and quality of life. One thing that I think is pretty new to the game is that they have AI characters that will go with you through dungeons, which I've been able to experience so far. Apparently you had to just wait in a queue until you had a full party, but I've been able to just go into a dungeon and just immediately go through, and it's been totally fine for me. The AI's done great. I don't know if that's different at maybe the higher levels where it's more challenging. The one thing that I think is my least favorite thing about this game is the reading. Now, I'm very aware that this is probably made much worse for me because I'm reading out loud on stream, which is just not that easy. When you can't really pronounce a word in your head, it's fine, you just kind of go through, but when you have to actually try to pronounce something that you just have no clue how to pronounce, it has made the game a little tedious. I'll just say that. Yet a part of me believes that I had no cause to fear, and now we can put paid to our long investigation. Yeah, something tells me like people like watching new players play the beginning of this game because you guys like seeing people struggle through this old English. I am definitely looking forward to more voiceover in the expansions. Alright, and with that, I wanted to let you guys know that I will be uploading my VODs and some highlights on a second and third channel that I've just created. Sorry if that's annoying to have to go and look at other channels, but I do want to try to keep this channel semi-focused so I can, you know, try to grow it a little bit more. I hope you understand. So please go check out those other channels if you're interested in that kind of stuff. Make sure to subscribe if you already haven't, and come say hi on Twitch sometime. A lot of you have been dropping by just saying hi, and at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about, having fun. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.